All right, welcome back to Pietros Maneos Finance. And today what I wanted to do is I wanted to showcase some dividends received and one of the secrets to acquiring wealth. So you can see on my screen here, these are the dividends coming in from July 15th into the 16th. So let's just kind of go through it a little bit. And you can see some pretty nice dividends here. Sun Communities and Mobile Home Park, Essex Property Trust, Avalon Bay, another apartment REIT, Blackstone Mortgage Trust, look at that, $25. WP Carey, a great triple net lease that a lot of people on Seeking Alpha discuss. So we have Stag, an industrial REIT, a monthly dividend payer, Main Street Capital. So we could tally this up, but this is pretty nice. You can see all this coming in. LADR, Broadmark, and then Store. That is also a kind of a Berkshire Hathaway holding. So I'm just sort of coattailing Warren and Charlie on that. But you see a nice dividend, $19. And then Realty Income. They're kind of known as the monthly dividend payer. So you can see $8. And you notice like the 834 plus here, and then you see the 834 negative. That just means it's being reinvested. So you see right here, 0.121 at $69.10, 0.1073. So basically $69.10. So it's purchasing more of those shares immediately. I believe this one is Camden Property Trust. What you see here is actually during the panic of 2020, I purchased a lot of things that were the most distressed. So I purchased cruise lines, airlines, hotels, and a lot of apartment REITs, because the media was spreading this, I won't say necessarily misinformation, but they were looking for stories. And so they were spreading this narrative that no one was paying their rent. But as a real estate investor and someone who follows other real estate investors, I was able to see that like I'm collecting fully. No one was trying to hustle me and play that like, oh, my friend said I don't need to pay the rent because I saw it on the news. No one really tried to hustle me like that. My tenants were great. I thanked them all. I treated them very well. They treated me very well. I worked with a couple people, like if it was a couple weeks late or anything, but people wanted to pay. They didn't look at me and be like, ha, I'm going to hustle you because I watched the news. So what I saw is all these apartment REITs were getting crushed. And so I picked a bunch up, so Camden Property Trust is one of those. But now let's go to the point of the video. So you can see here, $932.97 from BACHY. That is Bank of China. Nearly $1,000 dividend. So it's a beautiful thing, honestly, to go to the gym, do your weight workout, do your cardio, come back, have lunch, log in, and see $932.97 deposited in your brokerage account for zero labor. Zero labor. I remember I read a book on Andrew Carnegie, who, if you read, I think his book is Gospel Wealth. This was actually a biography. And, he was like sweeping the floor of a factory when he came from Scotland, just hardworking immigrant. And the first time he got his dividend, the first time he got his first dividend, he was like, wow, I didn't have to do work for this. So it wasn't he was, the term a lot of people use is trading time for dollars. So it was the first time he kind of experienced passive income. And one might say the euphoria of passive income. So 932, and then there's some ADR fees because it's a foreign company, foreign tax withheld. From my understanding, the ADR fee stands, but the foreign tax withheld 9330. I believe, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but from my understanding that due to tax treaties, that's returned on your tax return. But regardless, you see that 87 new shares of Bank of China was purchased at $8.86. So $778.69 was repurchased. And that's the point of this video. one of the secrets, and it's not necessarily a secret, but one of the tricks or strategies or things that you can employ to really pivot up your wealth is to reinvest your dividends. I know Fidelity did a study a couple years back on their best performing accounts, and it was dead people and people that forgot they had an account with Fidelity, which makes sense, which kind of showing that all that hyperactive sort of global macro decisions sometimes backfire, that just sitting on your hands can pay dividends, and the pun is intended there. But I would love, the reason I bring it up, I would love for Fidelity or TD Ameritrade or Vanguard or M1 to do a study on accounts that reinvest their dividends versus accounts that, for whatever reason, ignorance or it's a conscious decision, don't reinvest their dividends and it just goes into cash. And I would bet that those accounts that reinvest their dividends, the clients end up with more money at the end of the day, and they have a higher rate of return. So I look at it as kind of akin to Warren Buffett's float. And so Warren Buffett and Charlie at Berkshire, one of the ways that they've compounded wealth is when you're taking in premium as an insurance company, you're not going to pay out all of those premiums in settlements, right? So you're able to get that premium, and they're able to take that premium and reinvest it. So they're taking that and reinvesting it at high rates of return. So imagine if you're taking capital in your Berkshire Hathaway and you're compounding that at 22%. One of the metrics that a lot of value investors love, sure, there's the low PE, that's more the traditional, low PE, low PB, low PS. But one of the other metrics is ROIC, return on invested capital. And a lot of value investors like to see 10, 15, 20% even, because it means that a company's profitable, and then it's taking that money and it's investing it somewhere, and it's multiplying it in that investment at 10%, 15%, so on and so forth. So I view my dividend reinvestment in a way as kind of like how Buffett at Berkshire uses the idea of float. That this 778, I could have taken this 778 and basically just spent it, right? I could, $700, I could have gone out, this weekend to a couple nice dinners, whatever. But the trick or secret, whatever word you want to use there, is the longer that you as an individual can reinvest your dividends to accelerate compound, the richer you'll end up at a later date. So that's huge. So, and actually what's kind of cool is I bought a position in the big 5 Chinese banks, the state-owned 4, and then the other one is China Merchants Bank. So all these dividends now are going to be coming in. So now they're not all going to be the same amount, but let's just, for argument's sake, say that they're all 778. Let's just do that. And there's 5 coming in. Well, that means, let's see if I can show it here, $38.90. So almost $4,000 will be coming in this month just in Chinese bank dividends. So for disclosure, I have about a $50,000 position that I put in. That $50,000 I think is 68, 70, somewhere in there over the last few years. And the Chinese banks are what I call a super Maneosian. A super Maneosian is where the dividend yield is greater than the price to earnings, which means it's kind of a hated stock. So you can see with all the geopolitical issues between the United States of America and China, you can see why anything Chinese, can be sort of out of favor, not only maybe for patriotic or nationalistic reasons, but for practical reasons, because Trump delisted some companies, as did Biden. So the danger in an investment like this, and there's always dangers, but the danger in one like this is that Biden decides to delist the Chinese banks. I don't necessarily see him doing that. I think it's going to be more the technology companies or the tit for tat, like China Mobile and some of the ones associated with the Chinese military or, tech companies. Like, for example, if China takes action against Apple, then maybe they take action against Tencent or I always mispronounce it, but Pinduoduo, Alibaba, things of that nature. So, but you never know. So you just never know in the investing world. Anything could happen. But to me, that's the biggest risk here is the geopolitical issues. But yeah, so imagine, right now in 2021, collecting about $4,000 this month and the next month. Some of their pay dates are probably in August, but let's just, again, for sake of argument, say it's in a 30-day time frame, so it's in a month. So that's a beautiful thing. Think about that. To collect about $4,000 passively with no active labor, and then to be able to have the luxury to reinvest that. Imagine, again, if there's no geopolitical drama, there's no American-Chinese war in the South China Sea in 2027. Imagine if all that is put to bed. This, due to compound interest, 10 years, maybe instead of 4,000 a month, these particular holdings are throwing off 10,000 or 14,000 a month for doing nothing but taking the position and reinvesting the dividends and waiting. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share today. And one final thing is I'm going to be looking to continue to do these videos. I have the goal of trying to build this YouTube channel up. I haven't really put much emphasis. I do a lot of the monthly essay on Seeking Alpha, which I love. And I kind of want this channel to become an extension of the monthly essay and Seeking Alpha. So I'm going to be putting some more effort into being more consistent with the videos, as well as doing some advertising promotion with it. So, as all those guys say, like and subscribe. I'm at 77 or 78 subscribers. I want to try to push that over the next year or two. I'd like to see if I can get over 1,000. So we'll see how that plays out. This is kind of all new to me, but yeah, it's nice with this Loom software to be able to screen share and talk, and yeah, it's fascinating to me. So anyways, that's it for today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and reinvest those dividends. Ciao.